Hello and welcome to Arts in the City. I'm Tony Guida at the Gullivers Gate exhibit in Times Square. This massive and mesmerizing display transports you to Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas with miniature models like the Taj Mahal, the pyramids of Egypt, and Niagara Falls, to name a few. It's interactive and guaranteed to ignite your imagination. Gullivers Gate opens every morning at 9. Speaking of sparking the imagination, award-winning scenic designer David Gallo of The Drowsy Chaperone and Memphis, the works of August Wilson, Gallo credits the greatest space opera of all time with sparking his.
Here's where the fun begins.
I saw Star Wars in 1977 when it came out, and that was transformative for me because I was, for the first time, conscious of seeing a complete alternate world, something that was a universe that was completely crafted, and it just really grabbed me. A short time later, they started publishing the art department archives from those films, and I wanted to be the guy that could do those drawings. Yeah, Star Wars, like I said, these books were amazing. Like, they came out, I'm like 11 years old, 12 years old, and they've got all of the complete storyboards. You've got these developmental designs going on in here. You got these designers like crafting little notes for each other, and everybody's sort of working as a team. Everything begins with, usually begins with a script, and then I do a lot of research. Then I would start putting together just images that I felt were appropriate for it. Just kind of gather a tremendous amount of information, poetic information, just ideas that seem stimulating artistically, and literal information, like in the case of a play that has a historical context.
Oh, hello! Welcome to Sesame Street!
My mom was the Sesame Street mom generation. She was like hippie mom, and she sat my brother and I in front of the TV, and we watched like the very first episode. I was 2, and then have watched it, ever since, and have my own kids, and they watched it, and it's been a huge part of my life. These are some sketches of Elmo's bedroom that I did. When I came on board at Sesame Street, I think that they were feeling that it felt a little old looking. Sesame Street had not really updated to the 21st century in a lot of places. And so what I tried to do as a designer was not put my stamp on it, but was to basically add 30 years of urban development to the neighborhood. One of the things I think that keeps this interesting is that each project has its own motivation. And if you're gonna do an arena show with 25,000 people screaming, that's pretty exciting. Working with Fish is always really interesting. It's a band that ordinarily come out in jeans and t-shirts. They don't move around a lot. They don't have backup singers. They don't have dancers or choreography. They just play extraordinary music for 4 hours. Whatever pops in our heads is a crazy thing to do at a rock concert. We just do it. I try to sculpt something that works for everybody, and we spend about 9 months executing it. It's creatively exhausting. It's emotionally exhausting. The year that we put the band's original 1990 tour truck in the middle of the arena and had them play in the round, that sounds simple, but Madison Square Garden has a number of problematic issues in doing that. So it was technically extremely challenging, because not only did we have to get a hold of that truck, but we had to shear the entire top off. We had to create a conceptual reason why the top of the truck was missing. The VOMs are very, very low in Madison Square Garden. The VOMs are the little tunnels that take you under the seats backstage. So I had just enough height for the truck. I had to compress the equipment and all of that business for the band into the truck and had them lift up on hydraulic elevators. This is a collage that I did for the last August Wilson play, Radio Golf. So this is the drop that played when the audience came in, that showed the entirety of the Hill District. All of the plays are represented in here. So you have the cars from Jitney, you've got King Headley, you've got Ma Rainey. The paint finishes are very carefully thought out in Jitney. I paint everything, in scale. So like this is a 1/2 inch to the foot representation of the floor. I had my assistants build a dimensional model piece, and then I used just paintbrush and airbrush and various art supplies. So then this is an accurate representation of the way that I want the actual set to be painted. And this is actually what the painters hold in their hands while they're painting the set. The curtain rises. What you see is going to give you an immediate impression on what you're going to be experiencing for the next couple of hours. The set wouldn't work for me, if it made a statement that was in any way different than what everybody else is trying, to say.
Many times, of course, it's not what you say, but what you do. And what the people of Gander, Newfoundland did in response to the most terrifying emergency ever to hit North America is told in the musical Come From Away. Pat Collins has the story.
On the northeast tip of North America, on an island called Newfoundland, there's an airport. And next to it is a town called Gander. Tonight, we honor what was lost, but we also commemorate what we found.
In the aftermath of 9/11, the citizens of Gander, Newfoundland housed, fed, and consoled the 6,700 passengers whose flights were diverted to a town with a population of 11,500.
There's a scene in the show where we finally get off the planes and nobody knows what had happened that day. The passengers are unaware of the tragedy.
Our rehearsal process was incredibly emotional. We went through all kinds of documentary footage and did a lot of talking to each other about what our experiences were from that week. But also, we had these real people to play, all these people from Gander and characters from away. So there was a kind of joyfulness about capturing these extraordinary people's experience.
When you're on stage, are you aware of the audience reaction?
We understand what the show does for people and to people. And so sometimes you do hear audible gasps, but you do hear the tears and the sniffles.
There's something about the way this show is lit that we really can see. I probably can see back 15 to 20 rows. You could see people wipe their eyes. You could see people take their glasses off. Now, we're not allowed to cry because it interferes with the storytelling. We really just have to tell the story. And not that we can't be moved by it, but this piece could become sort of sappy.
Suddenly all of those pilots protesting me. Well, they can get their own drinks.
For the pivotal role of American Airlines Captain Beverly Bass, the airline's first female pilot, director Christopher Ashley chose Jen Colella. Jen and her fellow cast members play multiple roles.
I have 3 main characters.
Anywhere between 7 and 10. I haven't actually counted in rehearsals. It was a bit confusing. We play so many parts and we're in so many locations in the show. And I felt a little schizophrenic in the beginning, but I think we got it under control now.
Hi, how are you?
The post-show conversations between the cast and audience members at the Schoenfeld Theater stage door are often emotional ones.
This story connects to me so much because when I was a little girl, I actually watched the towers fall from my house.
Oh my gosh. It's really about sharing stories.
Well, it's cathartic.
Yeah. For everyone involved.
I came out the stage door and there were 2 women who obviously were really impacted. And they said, we lost our husbands in the towers. And they said, well, we're gonna go to Gander. We wanna go someplace where something good happened on that day.
Here on the edge of the Atlantic, on an island in between.
Come From Away's book, lyrics, and music were written by Irene Sankoff and David Hine, a married Canadian writing team. They and the cast forged a permanent bond with many of the passengers and the Good Samaritans of Gander.
We did a concert version of the show in the ice hockey rink that we talk about in the show for 5,000 people. So everyone that we portray from Gander was sitting in the first couple of rows. It was really important that we go there and get their permission to tell this story. We were given the flag that was flying over Town Hall in Gander, and it hangs stage left with a light on it the whole time. We get to see that every day before we go on stage to remind us what story we're telling.
For everyone in the cast, the memory of the tragedy 16 years ago is ever present.
I was in Queens, in Woodside, Queens, on my way to an audition. My roommate runs down the street and she says, don't go, something is terribly wrong. So I carry it with me, to to come from away.
The biggest gift for me about this show, and I've heard audience members say this too, is that I finally have a different version of that day in my head.
I'm Pat Collins for Arts in the City.
If you think of animation, you probably think of Disney or Pixar. But here's one more name you really need to know. Award-winning Uruguayan cartoonist and animator Eduardo de Reno.
It all started when I was very young in Uruguay. I went to the Cine Club and they were showing some films from Norman McLaren, and he used to draw directly on the film itself. And I got excited because I said, well, I can do that. I have no camera, but I can paint on the film. I bought a reel and I started doing it. 2 years later, I got a letter or two from him, and was encouraging to continue. And for me, it was like getting an Oscar because he was the master on painting. But I used to draw well, so I kept doing some cartoon and so on until I came to New York to study film at NYU. I did films, I did documentaries, but I also did some cartoons. Suddenly, one day, Superman landed in front of me. The American Land Association needed some public service, and they picked me up to do the drawing, the animation, the direction.
It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
The script required a group of kids in Central Park, and Superman would land and give a box for the kids having asthma.
Association, every super stuff.
And I also did quite a few characters. They belong to other artists who designed them. I had the pleasure of animating. I put motion into that. Snoopy was fun to draw because it was loose for me, and the funny thing was that Snoopy goes on one way, so it didn't rotate back then. Now we have a 3D movie, and I saw the trailer and I didn't want to see it because it will ruin my vision of Snoopy. Video came and I didn't like it so much, but we had to keep working. And then computers with the digital technology came, but I had to learn each of the new techniques. And software-wise, oh my God, how many we have used. All these years, right, there is something in animation that I always loved and that it got me since the earlier days when I was able to draw something and see it on the screen. Those drawings come alive. Whatever we did 30, 40 years ago is still done today. As you know, we had to have a good script, we had to do pre-production, so all that remains. So I tell also my students, you have to put in something personal, something that is, this is you, each of you.
By the way, Darino comes from Montevideo, one of the birthplaces of the dance of passion, the tango. New York seniors, you listen up. Here's your chance to learn the tango.
It's been a world-renowned form of dance that combines the athletic with the sensual. We've seen it in movies, on reality TV shows, and even with a recent US president. It's fluid and beautiful, and now there's a program to teach it to seniors in New York City. Tango Forever came to life 1 year ago to serve the elderly in underfunded senior centers in the 5 boroughs. For now, it's in Queens and Manhattan, and the result has been a total success. Seniors not only get to enjoy themselves, but also reap the added health benefits.
I feel much better because it makes me happy and healthy.
Argentine tango is basically a dialogue between 2 partners, a leader and a follower, and for it to be successful, one's mind and body have to essentially listen to the leader's movements. Might sound easy, but that's where a good and patient teacher comes in.
Once the body got it, then we can just walk through. 3, 4.
Thomas Reali has been a tangero for over 20 years.
Even to people that are in the regular community, I have this way of teaching, which is to make sure that they don't get lost into something more complicated than needs to be.
Thomas joined the Tango Forever Foundation because he himself saw the health benefits and was all the more enthusiastic to see similar results in an aging community.
The amazing thing is that how much the people they get more and more interested as this curriculum goes on, and because they're experiencing changes in themselves and their bodies. And there's so much research that coincides with this. For me, to watch this happening is very interesting.
Once a week, in senior centers in Manhattan and Queens, Tango Forever attracts all of what makes New York, well, New York. On this rainy day on the Upper West Side at the Red Oak Senior Center, the crowd might be thin, but for Carmen Ortiz and Clinton Powell, a little drizzle won't keep them away.
You feel like a love or something inside you.
And it makes it like graceful, very graceful.
And at the Benjamin Rosenthal Senior Center in Flushing, they were also delighted to dance the tango, with testimonials that can only fuel the desire of this tangero to keep teaching.
I learned a lot. Not a lot in the meaning of the dance, but for my spirit, health, that's good for me.
Dancing in general give you some movements. It's good for your mind and physically your body. And no matter how you move a little bit here and there, it helps.
After taking lessons for many months, seniors strut their stuff at a Tango Forever event. So New Yorkers, you have no excuse. Join the movement and embrace the tango. I'm Magalie Laguerre Wilkinson for Arts in the City.
From passionate dance to high Renaissance art, an exhibit of replicas of Michelangelo's frescoes for the Sistine Chapel is here for you. We saw it at the Oculus at the World Trade Center.
Thousands and millions of people go to Rome every year and wait on long lines and pay quite a bit of money to see Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. There's been such an increase in visitors that it's a very, very, very different experience. You're in a very crowded space. While I would not miss it, and I recommend everybody do it, you can't see really the images on the ceiling the way you can see them in these almost life-size photographs. The Sistine Chapel is the chapel of the Pope. This is a very special space. This is the Vatican, its religious corporate message of how the church saw itself at the turn of the 16th century. have the most famous segment here, but we have all the other ones. And I think that this is an opportunity for people to notice, because when you visit the Sistine Chapel and you come out, you can't remember the whole thing. There's too much going on. So this is an opportunity to see more that you may have missed when you saw it in person. What's really special here are the triangular spaces with the ancestors of Christ, because those are among the most difficult to see actually in the chapel. So this for me was a great pleasure to see this morning.
Westfield met with a Brooklyn-based design group and the folks that represent the artist and the photographer Eric Lessing, who took all of these photographs, and then we reproduced all of them in frescoes on cloth printed in Germany. And then we designed this exhibit really so that our visitors can see it up close.
I think for those of us that are religious, we get it and we see it and we feel it here. And for those of us that are not so religious, I think his forms and his art is small s spiritual, like very, very uplifting. Even though he painted close to 1500, all right, is still timely today. Scenes like the deluge, I think that the modern day viewer can relate. The scenes of the ancestors of Christ, they're domestic scenes with women who are empowered, okay? Domestic scenes where the babies are important and the women are important. I think that they have a very modern message for most people. In detail, we really fully appreciate the monumentality of Michelangelo as an artist, how robust he makes his figures, including the women. Not just the men have muscles. And they're heroic figures. We still get the sense of energy that he puts in the space and in the figures, and I don't think that's lost in the photographic reproductions on the floor.
Up close, Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel is currently on display at the Garden State Plaza in Paramus, New Jersey, through October 15th. So you don't create mobiles, but maybe you can use your voice to create art. Barry Mitchell tells how.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Barclays Center.
You're hired.
I hope so.
They're holding open auditions today for a new Brooklyn Nets stadium announcer.
In the interest of time, we will be moving quickly. Gotta say, we're overwhelmed here by the attendance. Thank you so much. This is wonderful. We're going to try to give everybody a fair opportunity to show us what you got.
Our show is called Arts in the City. Is there an art to being a stadium announcer?
There's definitely an art to being a stadium announcer. You have to know how to read the crowd. You have to know the intelligence of the game. You have to know what information is important to deliver, what information isn't necessary, and how to handle that information on the fly. Everything is score sensitive, so if the score is up, you may deliver it one way. If we're down, another way.
Very funny. I'm an retired assistant principal.
So wait a minute, does that mean you made the announcements on the PA system every morning?
Please don't throw food in the student cafeteria. It's disrespectful to the staff.
I have my own talk show, so pretty much I'm hosting that show. It's called The Break Room. It's on Brick TV, public access. I really feel like I'm about to make history. I don't know how, but I just feel like history is being made today.
It sort of figures that I'm in this business because my mother tells a story of when I was a kid sitting in front of the TV at about 4 or 5 years old. A plumber came to the house and saw me mimicking a PBS announcer's voice. And the plumber stopped and said, "Does he always do this?" And she said, "Yes." So I think I'm in the right business.
And the head coach of the Dallas Mavericks is Rick Carlisle.
I'm from Melbourne, Australia originally, but I live in Manhattan. I've been following basketball my entire life.
and love the Brooklyn Nets, so why not come along and try this out?
We've seen a lot of numbers today, but the winner here at the Barclays Center is number 444, Jay-Z. He's always a winner at the Barclays Center. Barry Mitchell, Arts in the City.
We leave you today in the Bronx, where the handwriting is on the wall, our hidden gem.
I think graffiti is a way of life.
It's multicultural.
It's humbling.
It's a very positive art form.
It's deep. The history of graffiti was basically just to put your name up. You know, you want to be known, and the more you did it, the more people saw your name. Especially, you know, growing up in the South Bronx, you know, you had guys who were stick-up kids. You had the pimps, you know, the local drug dealers, and everybody knew who they were. And this way you could do it, you know, without really getting too close to, you know, heavy crime. So that's stuff that goes back to the 40s and 50s, very crude stuff, but the graffiti that we know, I think it started about 1968.
Graffiti is really the art of the people in a lot of ways. But if I was looking at the tradition of it, it's writing your name on a wall with spray paint and not asking permission. I think the Bronx keeps graffiti alive in a lot of ways. I think what's great is that the Bronx just keeps it real. By real, I mean like you have artists who are constantly, you know, out doing walls. Everybody's painting every weekend, and I think it's home to a lot of style and a lot of innovation.
It hasn't really changed from 40 years ago to today. It's just different because you have kids who don't paint on subways, obviously, but they do stuff online. Or you can do a mural and take a picture, and because of the internet, someone in Japan could see something that you did, and that couldn't have happened 40 years ago. That didn't exist. I think some people don't consider graffiti an art form because of their mindset and their prejudices. And what I mean by prejudices, it's over the older people. They think that graffiti is just the random act of tagging. And as we started bringing it to the public, people started realizing and understanding there was something going on that was really deep. All that stuff that's relevant to the 60s I grew up with is very clean, very powerful, very colorful. And I think that's what my style is. It's very to the point.
A lot of people know that I paint flowers and I do very kind of abstract. I play around. A lot of artists would say it's raw, that I have this kind of raw 1970s feel to my work. A lot of times people will use a graffiti piece for like a murder scene or something really negative. So I think that there has to be an overall look at, you know, the way that we're portraying it.
Like the early articles that came out about graffiti, they understood that we were kids from the South Bronx or from Brooklyn or from Queens, from whatever, and that, you know, we had opinions and voices.
A lot of people feel that when graffiti left the trains, it died.
It's a tricky situation because you always want growth, but gentrification has a way of taking growth and destroying lives. Graffiti won't change because it's a rebellious art form. You know, gentrification is going to do what it's going to do. I don't think it'll affect graffiti. It might help placing graffiti in sections or in areas where we couldn't get to.
I feel like the Bronx as an artist is really magical, and I feel like very blessed, and I think that what's happening in the Bronx, all the artists, and how everybody is very engaged with making the Bronx better and who have worked for many years to kind of bring attention to the Bronx. I'm excited about the Bronx's future, and I hope that I'll still be here.
That's our show for today. For more information on our stories, visit CUNY.tv. I'm Tony Guida. See you next time on Arts in the City.